Hello and welcome back to the SBK 2024 Royal Ascot mini podcast series for episode 3. This time Thursday's racing is the topic of choice. 15 minutes of insight and selections from myself, Tom Collins and Ross Millar upcoming. I personally think this will be the easiest day to predict. So there you go. I set the stall out early doors. Hopefully plenty of winners to come. We'll begin with Thursday's opener, the Group 2 Norfolk Stakes. And before we get into the race, SBK are offering a 25% winnings boost on the event. Max stakes £10. T&Cs do apply, but go check it out. You get more bang for your buck this way. We have a short price favourite in this year's Norfolk, which is Whistle Jacket for Aidan O'Brien. If you're a fan of trends, then maybe you want to take him on, because the last favourite to win the Norfolk was South Central back in 2008. The last three winners, 14 to 1, 50 to 1, 150 to 1. Now, obviously, that's just what's happened. It doesn't determine the future, but it's still interesting nonetheless. Ross, are you with the favourite or are you with the trends?
Oh, you've really dampened me there, TC. No, I am with the favourite. I really like him. I thought he was green, very green, unusually for one from Aidan O'Brien when he got beaten on debut. Went very hard and I think got outstayed. Actually, that form, didn't get boosted Tuesday, I should say. But I'm not too worried about that. I'm always dubious when people take form lines and literally, I think you have to look how horses have shaped through the race. He was much better on his second run. The runner-up, Arizona Blaze, has won since, beat a very well-regarded horse from the same yard, Camille Pizarro. I just think he's got bags of speed. He's going to stay further than this. He could have happily run in a 6 furlong race. Full brother to Little Big Bear, who of course was a very good horse. Now, of course, that doesn't mean he's going to be, but the signs are that he's got plenty of ability. I think they've had this mapped out from some way out, given they've got plenty of 2-year-olds. That's a strong side for me, so I do like him. I am going to chance one at a slightly bigger price, not 150 to 1, but moving forward for Richard Fahey. Loved what he did in his debut at Beverley, and then he was narrowly denied in the 2-year-old trophy at that track last time. Lost a bit of ground coming out the stalls. I don't think that affected him, but Shareholder, the winner, was very impressive, but he was conceding, moving forward, was conceding £7 to him, and I thought he was coming right back at the line. I think in another stride or two, he might even have got back to the front. Stiff track here, strong pace. I think that will really suit him. He gets a £7 pull with Shareholder. He's a much bigger price than him. Richard Fahey knows how to win it. I think he's won it twice in the last 5 years, Perfect Power and the Riddler. Stable I like, 2 horses I like, but Whistle Jacket, the sort of one I fancy more.
Yeah, 2 different angles, way of approaching the Norfolk this year. Whistle Jacket is definitely going to prove tough. I know I was a little bit damp on this chance just because of the trends, but he's the best horse coming into the race on figures. He represents the leading connections, and I don't see why he won't go close. I liked Shareholder at Beverley. I thought he shaped really well, making the debut against Moving Force, who obviously had the previous run. I think Shareholder would take a step forward, and actually I really like the track for him. He's a big striding individual who can race on the snaff, basically, super keen through the early part. So I think the straight track where they're going to go faster will suit him better. And he could go close. The disparity between Whistle Jacket and Shareholder in the market in terms of their price is probably a little too big. So I might have a little tickle on Shareholder, but this is not a race I'm going to get too involved in. Next up is the King George V Stakes at 3:05 p.m. There are numerous well-handicapped horses in here. I don't think that's unobvious to say. Like, the majority of these are going to go on to bigger and better things. I'm really looking forward to it. I respect the London Gold Cup form, so Sean T and Poneros have to be considered, but I'm going to split my stakes on a couple of horses in here who are also thoroughly unexposed. Gilded Water being one, who represents William Haggis and Tom Marquand, who should really improve for the step up in trip, and 410 Fever, who's been in great form this year for George Bowie and should love the galloping track at Ascot. Do you agree with either of those?
Yeah, I'm with you with Gilded Water, TC. I thought he looked like he's been educated twice over a mile. I thought the run at Windsor was good, only beaten a nose into third by the runner-up. The runner-up has won since. Dotted up at Chepstow, didn't he? I mean, it wasn't much of a race, I don't think, but he won so easily with that extra 2 furlongs looking to suit. He's going to get a little bit further again. I think that's going to suit him well. He's a half-brother to Circle of Fire, a sure horse you know better than me, but he's a 2-mile Group 1 winner down in Australia. Gilded Water's rated 92. I'd be very, very confident he's going to be rated above 100 at the end of the season. But as you say, there's plenty of horses you could say that about in here. But I do think Her Majesty King and Queen owned. I'm sure this has been mapped out from some way out. So I do like him. And then City Burglar. Thought he ran well at this track last time, over a mile and 2 furlongs. Just lacked a bit of speed, I thought, but stuck at it really well. he was conceding £12 to the winner. The winner has gone on and run really well off a £6 higher mark next time, was only beaten in the region of a length. So he's up £4 City Burglar. He's going to have a bit more to do, but I think the track will suit him well. Extra trip will suit him well. I don't think he'll be far away at all.
Yeah, 3 horses there between us. We're both with Gilded Water, currently 10-1 with SBK. I also like 4201 Fever, who is currently 12-1 with SBK, and City Burglar's 20-1 with SBK. So some big prices in a race where it's probably worth taking a shot, given how well handicapped the majority of the field are. The Group 2 Ribblesdale is up next, where the unbeaten Diamond Rain heads the market, currently around 13-8 for Godolphin and Charlie Appleby. 7-1 bar her, so she's very strong at the top. Are you with her?
No, I'm not, TC. I thought You Got to Me, by virtue of her fourth in the Oaks, probably had a really strong piece of form. But then looking back at the Lingfield Oaks trial, which she won by half a length from Ruby's a Red, Ruby's a Red did not handle Lingfield at all. I was dead against her at Epsom, and I think I was right. Don't she handle the track there again? But she got within half a length from a long way back at Lingfield behind You Got to Me. I think this track is going to suit her far better. Stiff finish. I think she's far, far too big at around about 16-1. I think she might even be with SBK. I think she's a really classy filly. I appreciate again that Ryan Moore has ridden against her, but Wayne Lorne's a good jockey. I just cannot believe the price disparity between You Got to Me and Ruby's Are Red, so she's for me.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. She could definitely improve for the switch to Ascot as well. I'm going to be a bit boring here. I like Diamond Rain despite her price. Usually I try to find a bit of value here. There probably isn't much value in her price right now at 13-8, but at the same time, I think she's definitely the most logical winner. I've taken on most of the favourites on day 1 and day 2, if you've watched those daily pods. This day, on Thursday, I think there's going to be quite a few winning jollies, and she beat a horse last time called Ejabia, who I believe is a proper Group 1 filly in the making. She subsequently came out and won, albeit in an egg and spoon race, but she did so effortlessly that it makes me think Diamond Rain, who put her firmly in her place last time up, is very talented in her own right. So I'll take the jolly in here at a short price. The feature on Thursday is the Ascot Gold Cup, and again, I'm going to be going with the chalk, and that is Kyprios, who I think is the best stayer around, and I'm sure many of you agree with me. He deserves to be odds on if he produces anything like his victory in 2022 or the Cadran success in that year as well. He should win, but people are going to be concerned that he had that major layoff with an injury. He's come back. He hasn't really reproduced his RPRs that he showed back in 2022 just yet. Ross, are you with Kyprios with me, or are you going to go for a long shot?
I'm going to go for a long shot. I'm not against Kyprios, and I would understand that his price probably reflects his chance of winning, but it's just for a week of competitive racing, it's just not a price I want to go near. He's definitely capable of stepping back to his 2022 form. I think he's clearly been built forwards very slowly, and the nature of his injury meant that he had to be built back up slowly. I'm going with Kai's Chorus, as I put up on the preview pod, by Golden Horn, a stallion I've got plenty of time for. I think she's going to love this ground. I know she's going to love this ground. I think she's going to improve for an extra 4 furlongs. She's run really well twice over 2 miles this year when carrying a penalty, which she doesn't have now. Take Kyprios out of it. She's definitely better than Gregory. I think she's better than Vauban. She's better than Trawlerman. So an each way price, if Kyprios doesn't get back to his 2022 form, that makes it more interesting again. So she'll do for me.
You're looking for all those headlines on Thursday, aren't you? A winner for the King and the Queen, a winner for Clive Washburn. If those both win, it's going to be a big day for the media.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine Clive Washburn in mixing it with the King and Queen. That would be quite something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want to be seeing footage of that. Back to Handicap Company for the Britannia at 5 p.m. A maximum field will line up. Again, a bit of a pin job. Plenty of these have chances, and they're going to be spread across the whole track. It's paid to be drawn middle to high in recent years, but as we keep saying on these podcasts, the biases on the straight track at Ascot can flip from one day to the next. Maybe on Thursday, the far side will be suited. Just keep an eye out in the early races on Thursday for that bias. Where has your dart or darts landed in this race?
2 TC that I liked last year when I was on juvenile watch duty. Star Law for Sir Michael Stout really impressed me when making a winning debut at Sandown. But he was very immature, and I think that plagued him actually on his next runs. I don't think we ever saw the same horse again. I thought it was an adequate return run, 2 lengths behind horses rated 109 and 107. It got a typically hard luck story on his handicap debut at Goodwood, just never really got the gaps he needed. Stays on a mark of 98. I think that looks particularly appealing. I'm sure he'll win a big handicap off that this year. Whether it's this, I'm obviously not quite so certain. And then another one who I actually wrote at the back end of last year. I did a list of horses to not forget, and Cogitate was top of that list for Charlie Hills. He beat the 107 rated Boiling Point on his debut at Newbury, did it very easily, and was then thrown straight into the Group 3 Acom at York, which is not really the sort of thing you see Charlie Hills do. He normally likes to go back and win with them under a penalty. Cogitate was 2-3 at York. He was beaten 4 lengths and was not seen after that. So whether a little problem came to light, I'm not sure. Whether they just wanted to put him away and get him relaxed back down again. Returned at Southall, was outpaced behind the 107 rated Knight Raider, but he's a good horse, and he was prepped and Cogitate wasn't. Thought that was a nice prep for Cogitate. He's rated 93. He's definitely better than that. I just wonder if this has perhaps been a bit of a plan from some way out, because there's been plenty of targets for him to have between Southall and this, and he's missed them all. So Cogitate at a decent price as well.
Yeah, both of those horses, Cogitate and Starlaw, are available at 14-1 with SBK at the time of recording, 1:30 on Wednesday. And they're also drawn one on each side of the track, Cogitate in 1 and Starlaw in 22. I'm going with a similar approach insofar as one on each side of the track. I'll probably have more than 2 bets in this race. There won't be big bets, they'll just be scattered around. But the 2 standouts for me in terms of prices are Involvement, who finished behind the really well handicapped Into Battle on his penultimate outing, and then last time really caught the eye behind a soft ground specialist at Haydock. When the ground gets testing at Haydock, you need a horse that goes through it. I don't think Involvement wanted soft ground, so the fact he got so close to the eventual winner, Nelly Laylax, is just to his credit. His mark of 96 is very fair, in my opinion. And now that he's back on fast ground, he should improve. And I'm also going to have a couple of quid each way on Son of Man at a big price, around 33-1. He might not be good enough, but he caught my eye on his latest effort at Goodwood when he was ridden too cold out the back, found some trouble, couldn't get through. And a faster pace here on a more conventional track should suit him, so he could hit the frame for Jane Chapel-Hine. The Hampton Court is the penultimate race on day 3. London Gold Cup winner King's Gambit tops the market at 5-2. He's one of the most highly anticipated horses coming off the back of that Newbury success. Are you with the Jolly?
I absolutely see the appeal, TC, and Jess was spot on last time, wasn't she, when he won that he was indeed a group horse in a handicap. But I think the traders are taking an absolute chance with one here. Al Musmak, he went off 4-1 on his return for the Dante, having had really good juvenile form. He was second to Rosalian at this track in a novice. Won a listed contest last year. It was just too bad to be true when beaten a long way in the Dante. Came home last. Transpired that his bloods weren't quite right. That'll do for me as a reason. If you put a line through that, 16-1 is just far too big for a horse. It's clearly got plenty of ability. 16-1 with SBK is a really nice price.
Yeah, another double figure price selection there for Ross. It could be a big day if Ross gets at least 1 or 2 of these home, even if they hit the frame. These are big prices. Could be another winner as well for Sylvester de Souza and Roger Varian, who obviously struck in the Queen Anne on Tuesday with Charon. I'm going to be with King's Gambit. Again, it could be considered boring, but I have anticipated that Thursday was a day for some jollies, so I'm sticking with the most likely winner here. I just think he's going to be super tough in this race. That London Gold Cup victory was very impressive. He achieved an RPR of 112, which was actually more than Time Test achieved in the London Gold Cup. Time Test then came to the Hampton Court and won decisively. I think it could be a very similar situation this time around. Finally, we end with the Buckingham Palace, and unfortunately, I'm signing with the favourite again. Sorry, guys. I tried to avoid doing this, but English Oak is... or was my handicap horse to follow this week. He has been punted since the subsequent purchase from Wathnam Racing, which I wasn't anticipating when we did the actual podcast. James Doyle takes the ride, which is no bad thing, and he's currently around 5 or 6-1, which probably doesn't represent much value in a race like this. He was 10-1 when I put him up in the big preview podcast, which is on YouTube if you didn't watch that. I think his mark of 99 is very fair, and therefore I have to stick with my opinion. I'll probably have a tickle on a couple of each ways. Which ones would you advise?
So I've gone for another one off a mark of 99, actually. Richard Hannon trained Takarib Bay. Frustrating horse. He does throw in a few stinkers, but he's got some quite solid bits of form at this track. Pick was when second over a mile off a mark of 106. And even when you go back and watch his run in the Jersey 2 years ago, he was beaten 7 lengths. He was 11th of 15, I think, but he was badly hampered inside the final 2 furlongs. Didn't stop him winning it, but he would have been much closer. I think this ground is perfect for him. I think 7 furlongs is perfect for him. Not quite got the gears for 6, doesn't quite stay the mile. Being out of form, but that does mean he's down to a marker 99. Alex Wojcicki takes another £3 off. He's 33 to 1 in a big cavalry charge. I thought that might suit him. And of course, you have to look at Fresh. Runs this track really well. I don't think ever really gets the luck required. I thought the return over 6 furlongs at Haydock was really promising. 7 furlongs is definitely a better trip for him, but he was second there. Finished really well. He was 5th in last year's Wokingham, off 101, beaten 2 lengths. He's now down to 92. The draw is 30. You might know by the time this race comes around whether that's a good thing or not. But I think he runs this track well. Haley Turner does ride Ascot well, so he'll be a decent price as well.
Yeah, Fresh is currently available at 16 to 1. Takaribe 33 to 1 with SBK. As I keep saying, at the time of recording, that may fluctuate by the time you watch this podcast. I'm with the favourite English Oak at 5 to 1. Okay, that's it now. That's the end of the day 3 preview. Now time for the Nap and Next Best. Go ahead.
Nap is Whistle Jacket in the Norfolk. I think he's going to be a cut above these. And the next best is Kyprios Chorister in the Gold Cup. Each way, next best, maybe hoping that Kyprios doesn't quite turn up.
Yeah, Whistle Jacket is currently 6 to 5 for the Norfolk, and Kyprios Chorister is 12 to 1 for the Ascot Gold Cup. My nap is going to be King's Gambit in the Hampton Court. Jess Stafford will be pleased about that. That's at 5:40 p.m. He's currently 5 to 2. And my next best is Diamond Rain in the Ribblesdale at 3:45. Probably not original there, a couple of favourites, but I think they're good things, or as much as they can be in races at Royal Ascot. Before we go, just a reminder that SBK are offering a 25% winnings boost in every day this week. They choose one race, and on Thursday, it's the Norfolk. So make sure you have a look at that. T's and C's apply, max stake £10. Thank you for listening. Please join us again tomorrow, where we'll be previewing all of Friday's races at Royal Ascot, the penultimate day of this year's meeting. Until then, be lucky.